Let your mind drift back to a time when Southern California was an untouched, raw frontier, where vast landscapes met rolling hills and pristine waters, long before the glitz, the glamour, and the flashing lights took over. This is the untold story of how a peaceful valley transformed into a global icon, told through the shadows of the past. Look at Orange Street around 1892, long before it became the famous Wilshire Boulevard at the Lucas Avenue intersection. Up on the northwest corner, you can spot the Shadow family residence, standing right next to the Johnson family home. That massive light pole on Lucas Avenue is one of the earliest electric streetlights in Los Angeles, towering at 150 feet. Down below, early electric streetcars are running on Route 7, carrying passengers from downtown all the way to Westlake. This stunning view looks northwest from Lucas Avenue and Orange Street, which we now know as Wilshire Boulevard. Behold these magnificent Queen Anne-style homes built around 1892. On the right stands the grand residence of George R. and Clara Shadow, while on the left is the beautiful home of Orson Thomas, O.T. Johnson. Both houses perfectly capture the elegance of early Los Angeles architecture. This panoramic view from around 1887 looks north from Fort Hill, stretching across Bellevue Road, which we now call Bellevue. This exact stretch of road would later become part of the famous Sunset Boulevard. Standing prominently in the center is the Robinson Mansion, captured here immediately after its construction, surrounded by a vast and changing landscape. Take a look at Elysian Heights around the 1890s. Over on the left, you can see a woman standing with 3 children sitting before her on a grassy hill. Bellevue Avenue, which later became Sunset Boulevard, stretches from the bottom right across to the middle left. In the distance, perched right on the hilltop, is the Robinson Mansion, sitting directly opposite Teed Street, and North Hill Street runs away from Bellevue on the far side of that grand estate. This is Sonora Town around 1900, looking north from Fort Moore Hill along Castelar Street, which we now know as Hill Street. On the hilltop to the left, you can see the Julia S. Ford Mansion, formerly the J.W. Robinson Mansion, looking down onto Castelar Street on the right. Below, running from right to left, is Bellevue, now Bellevue, a road that would later become part of Sunset Boulevard. This 2-story Victorian house sits right on Teed Street near Bellevue Avenue. Look at this unpaved stretch of Castelar Street, now Hill Street, back in 1890, looking north from Sunset Boulevard in Sonora Town. On the left side of the dirt road, there's a low 1-story adobe house standing next to a taller craftsman-style home, along with a windmill and a cluster of trees. Over on the right, another 1-story house is partially hidden by foliage, and way in the distance, a tall tower resembling an antenna stands in the middle right. That is actually one of the very first electric streetlights in Los Angeles, soaring 150 feet into the sky. Captured around 1999, here are 3 men relaxing in front of a low-slung, sloped-roof adobe house right on Castelar Street, now Hill Street, in Sonora Town. Looking down Castelar, a few other homes line the incredibly wide dirt road, stretching all the way to the horizon. Over on the left side of the street, you can see a horse-drawn carriage parked quietly. This is the view east of Castelar Street, near Sunset Boulevard back in the 1890s. A woman stands quietly in front of a long adobe house featuring 2 open, doorless entrances. Flanking it from both sides are non-adobe homes, completely enclosed by wooden fences. Look closely into the background. You can spot a water tower and a windmill standing in the center. Over on the top right, that tall 4-story building with 3 small towers is the famous Sunset Hotel, located at 703 North San Fernando Street, which later became North Spring Street. All of this sits beautifully against the backdrop of the city's residential area and the distant mountains on the left. Step onto the paved sidewalk and porch of this adobe restaurant, owned by G. Moreno, located in the 600 block of North Spring Street in Sonora Town back in the 1890s. Looking across the street, you can see several other adobe buildings serving as shops or homes. And further down the road, standing tall in the distance, is the 3-story San Fernando Hotel, situated right at 700 North Spring Street. This is North Broadway, formerly known as Buena Vista Street, back in 1895, looking north from Sunset Boulevard in the area called Sonora Town. You can see a line of adobe buildings stretching along the street. Among them is the branch of P. Ballad House, a saloon located right at 203 North Buena Vista Street. Behold the Los Angeles Plaza back in the 1890s. Over on the left, you can see the historic Pico House, with the Plaza Church standing right in the center. Rising in the far distance is Fort Hill, showcasing the homes of William Wills and Mrs. Phineas Banning, along with the towering structure of the Los Angeles High School. This is the Plaza Church, captured in 1894, looking north from Pico House on Main Street. This building served as the parish church of Los Angeles and was never a mission church. Out front, you can see a woman standing, holding a small child tightly in her arms before the sacred entrance. Look at this scene from 1895, showing Governor Pio Pico's office, nestled right between the old Plaza Firehouse on the left and the Grand Pico House on the right, standing directly across from the plaza. If you gaze into the distance, you can catch a glimpse of the prominent towers of the Baker Block rising above the early cityscape. This is Main Street back in the 1890s, looking northeast toward the bustling plaza area. You can clearly see the Grand Pico House standing tall next to the Merced Theater. Look at that prominent sign on the theater building reading Barker and Allen, Furniture and Carpets. Out front on the dirt road, a horse-drawn carriage and a wagon are parked quietly before the majestic Pico House. Look at this panoramic view of Garvanza back in 1895, showcasing a sparsely populated neighborhood filled with lush trees and wide open spaces. Right in the foreground, you can see a large bridge under construction stretching northeast across the Arroyo Seco Valley from Highland Park, opening up new paths into the untouched landscape. Witness history in the making on March 7, 1895. This incredible photo captures the very first electric streetcar crossing the Arroyo Seco, operating near the Cowston Ostrich Farm. This milestone was achieved by the Pasadena and Los Angeles Railway Company, marking a massive leap forward for regional transportation. Look at this beautiful scene around 1896, showing Hollandbeck Park sprawling in the foreground. Up on the top left, you can see the original mansion of J.E. Hollandbeck standing gracefully on the hill, while the massive Hollandbeck Home for the Aged, the retirement home, rests prominently on the top right. Look at this serene view of Hollandbeck Lake, where several people are out on the water, rowboating and kayaking, enjoying the calm surface. Over on the right, along the shore, you can see the charming boathouse. A tiny island, Bamboo Island, sits beautifully right in the middle of the lake, and further back in the distance, an arched footbridge is partially hidden behind the lush tree branches. Look at these tall palm trees lining the streets surrounding Hollandbeck Park around 1935. Vintage cars are parked and driving along the road, creating a classic Los Angeles scene. Later on in the 1950s, the Golden State Freeway would be built right along the western border of this beautiful park, completely changing the landscape. Look at this incredible group portrait from 1893 featuring members of the Los Angeles Athletic Club posing together out front of their facility. The club was located right at 226 South Spring Street in the Stowell Block building. Stand out in the front row, right in the center, a young man proudly wears a chest full of medals, capturing a moment of athletic pride from early LA history. Feel the thrill of the starting line on October 3, 1893. This is Agricultural Park, which would later be renamed Exposition Park. Crowds have gathered to watch the start of an intense 25-mile bicycle race. Cyclists are lined up and ready to go, capturing the vibrant sports culture of early Los Angeles. This is a view of the racetrack at Agricultural Park, later known as Exposition Park, around the 1900s. The dirt track bends sharply in the foreground, leading past a large grandstand featuring 3 open towers. Right next to it stands a smaller, single-story building, likely a concession stand for food and drinks, while another unidentified structure sits on the far left. Look at this spectacular aerial view, captured in 1918, exactly 5 years after Exposition Park first opened its gates on November 6, 1913. Notice that massive 1-mile automobile racetrack circling the center. This landmark feature would later disappear entirely after the iconic Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum was built on this very spot in 1923. Look at this thrilling sight from 1893. This is the Great Cable Incline Railway, stretching from the Rubio Pavilion at the bottom all the way up to Echo Mountain at the top. In this scene, one of the dark incline cars named Rubio is parked at the base with passengers on board and others waiting nearby. Over on the left, a streetcar stands ready to bring more travelers down from Mountain Junction. Look at this spectacular moment from July 4th, 1893, capturing the very first passengers on Professor Thaddeus S.C. Lowe's breathtaking Mount Lowe Railway. Around 20 people inside car number 9 are looking straight toward the camera as they cross the famous circular bridge. You can see the wooden trestle structure supporting the tracks from below, and way over on the left, the Mountain Hotel and the winding rail line leading up to it are beautifully visible. Look at this America's leading engineering marvel from around 1893, an aerial view of South Pacific's Mammoth Wharf, located in the Port of Los Angeles, California. This massive structure was also known as the Old Santa Monica Long Wharf, stretching out north of the canyon. You can see a plume of white smoke rising from a steam train chugging along the tracks toward the main business area at the very end. Look at this incredible view of Santa Monica's North Beach back in 1893, looking out from the Arcadia Hotel. Down along the shore, a line of restaurants showcases early coastal business with prominent signs reading Hot and Cold Lunches, Eckert and Hopf, Anheuser-Busch Lager Beer, alongside the Pavilion Restaurant and John Whelan's Lager Beer. Behind that Whelan sign, you can spot the Santa Monica Bathhouse with an outdoor stage perched up on the bluffs above, an area that is now part of Palisades Park. And way out in the distance, the Long Wharf extends into the ocean. Look at this amazing view of the Ocean Park Pier around 1897. This 500-foot-long pier was constructed by the Santa Fe Railroad back in 1895, situated about 300 feet south of Hill Street. In this scene, several people are standing along the wooden structure, looking out as we gaze toward the vast open ocean. Look at Flower Street in 1897, looking north from Pico Boulevard. A cable car is driving along the dirt road with a second track visible on the left, passing right by a charming church on the right. Sidewalks line both sides of the street, and over on the left, a post and rail fence encloses what looks like a chicken coop and a small pasture. Look at this vibrant scene from the 1890s, capturing a Chinese New Year parade in Los Angeles' Chinatown. A massive dragon weaves through the muddy dirt street, while a few onlookers watch the celebration unfold. In the far distance, you can catch a clear view of the second Los Angeles High School sitting prominently on Fort Moore Hill. Gaze south down Los Angeles Street around 1890, where horse-drawn wagons loaded with hay fill the wide, unpaved road. Commercial buildings line the entire stretch, and over on the right, you can see the prominent Arcadia block, home to a broom factory and the Los Angeles Printing Company, capturing the early industrial heartbeat of the growing city. Look at this westward view along Arcadia Street from Los Angeles Street around 1895, with Fort Moore rising in the background. Standing tall on the northwest corner of Arcadia and Los Angeles Streets is the three-story Jeanette Block, with Sanchez Alley running directly behind it to Republic Street. Interestingly, the vintage text on the photo is mislabeled, as Aliso Street does not extend past Los Angeles Street, confirming this is indeed a look up Arcadia Street. Gaze at this magnificent northwest view from 1894, capturing the very first La Fiesta de Los Angeles parade on Hill Street, just south of 5th Street in downtown Los Angeles. Spectators and horse riders watch closely as a parade float honoring the newly opened Mount Lowe Railway passes by. On the left sits the 6th Street Park, later renamed Central Park, and known today as Pershing Square. That grand building with towers peeking out behind the trees is Hazard's Pavilion, located on the northeast corner of Hazard and 5th Streets, while the Rose Mansion can be spotted resting gracefully on the slopes of Bunker Hill. Behold this spectacular moment of the 1901 La Fiesta parade passing along North Spring Street. The grand procession features riders on horseback in the lead, followed closely by horse-drawn carriages and electric streetcars. Look at the massive tangle of utility poles and wires framing the crowds, and multi-story commercial buildings packed with street-level shops. Right in the foreground on the bottom right, you can spot Jevney's grocery store at 208 to 210 South Spring, with the Grimes Stassforth Stationery Company situated just above it at 220 North Spring, while the elaborate decorative arches of the Baker Block on Main Street stand proudly in the background. Look at this wonderful view of the Delaware Hotel on Broadway around 1896, looking south between 5th and 6th Streets. This building would later become the Dalton Theater. A group of 9 cyclists is riding right past the storefronts, which feature large painted signs on the brick wall reading Delaware Elegantly, First Class Delaware Restaurant, Open All Hours, Cleveland and Envoy Bicycles, and Wheels for Rent. Behind a few trees in the distance, you can catch a glimpse of the Spring Street School, along with the tall spire of the First Baptist Church. Look at this eastward view out Washington Boulevard from Main Street back in 1896. Shops line both sides of the wide, unpaved dirt road. Over on the left, you can spot horse-drawn wagons parked near the buildings, along with an incredibly tall white tower or mast featuring a small platform near the top, which actually sits halfway up the structure. Look at Mrs. Henry Hazard riding her bicycle around 1898 at the corner of Washington Boulevard and Figueroa Street, looking north. Her husband, Henry T. Hazard, served as the mayor of Los Angeles from 1889 to 1892, playing a massive role in the city's development. Down in the far distance, you can spot one of Los Angeles's very first electric streetlight towers. Standing at an incredible 45 meters tall, these towers were equipped with carbon arc lamps designed to provide illumination equivalent to a beautiful full moon. Witness a monumental milestone from 1897, the very first automobile in Southern California, built right in a shop on 5th Street in Los Angeles by S.D. Sturgis for J. Philip Erie, who is seen here behind the wheel, becoming the first person to ever drive a car on LA streets. Seated proudly in the back is William H. Workman, father of future Los Angeles Mayor Boyle Workman. By 1904, 1,600 cars would fill the city, operating under strict speed limits of 8 miles per hour in residential zones and 6 miles per hour in commercial areas. Gaze upon this pristine view of Echo Park Lake around 1894, looking out toward the northwest. The dirt road winding across the lower half of the frame is Montana Street, which would later become Echo Park Avenue. Scattered trees and small farms dot the untouched rolling hills, while a lone man stands quietly in the foreground, taking in the peaceful early landscape. From a quiet rural lake surrounded by untouched fields to a bustling metropolis that captured the imagination of the entire world, the journey of early Los Angeles remains a breathtaking testament to human ambition. What part of this incredible transformation surprised you the most? Leave a comment below, hit that like button, and subscribe for more historical journeys. Now, let your mind drift back.